Mr. Wolf Boy. Oh, thank you for coming to... Oh, hey, welcome to this video. I just wanted to make this video because AJR just had this really cool Zoom call, and in it, there was just so much information that I wanted to discuss today. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, this past Thursday, AJR had this hunt for clues that eventually led you to this password to a Zoom call. And in that call, fans were able to ask some important questions, specifically a lot of questions regarding the new album. But only 300 people were able to get into the call, and I fortunately was one of them. So today I wanted to share all the highlights of what I saw in that call. And luckily, a lot of people asked some great questions regarding this new album and this new era. So I definitely am excited to share that. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, the first question that I wanted to point out was how many songs are on the album? And I believe this was revealed a little while ago, and the answer is 13. But the reason why I wanted to bring this one up is because when they were answering that question, it seemed like they were very adamant about it being 13 songs on the album. They said, quote, "I don't want to tell you why. There is a reason. You'll hear on the album and you'll realize it had to be 13. So it kind of led me to think, why are they so specific to it being 13 and how does this roll in with the theme of the album? And I could only really come up with a few reasons as to why this might be. One of them could be that this album has something to do with luck, whether that's good luck or bad luck. And one of the reasons why I thought this could be a theme for the album is that they said they would release the album early next year. And I looked on a calendar and saw that January 13th is Friday the 13th. So perhaps if they were dealing with this bad luck or superstition kind of theme, it would make sense that they would release it on that date. Another potential theme that I thought of that I think is a little bit more out there is that it has to do something with age. Turning 13 is a big deal in a lot of cultures, and I thought maybe they're breaking down life in the span of 13 years. Because Jack is getting close to 26, and it would make sense that they would kind of, break it down from 13 to 26 and so on. But like I said, that one is a little bit more out there, and I'm kind of curious to think what you guys think why they would use specifically 13 songs on this album. So definitely let me know your theories in the comments below. But the only other reason why I thought they would use 13 songs on this album is that obviously they are huge Swifties. The next question that I wanted to highlight was when someone asked if Ryan was singing on the album, and he responded yes, he actually has his own song to himself. But also when talking about this question, it was revealed that they already wrote 12 songs for this album, but then scrapped 2, so they already have 10 songs for this album. But this was really interesting to me because it showed that they were working towards having 13 songs on the album as opposed to having like 20 to choose from and are like, okay, these are the 13 best songs that we can give. So as opposed to stumbling upon 13 good songs, they are working towards having that many songs on the album. So it just further solidifies that they want to have that specific number. Another way that shows that they're being super intentional about their songwriting was revealed when they were asked if they have their tour visuals yet for tour. And surprisingly, the response to this was that they have basically the entire thing ready. And as they talked about this more, it kind of seems like they've been working a little backwards in that they came up with these visuals for the performance and then started songwriting based on that. And Ryan even gave an example that if they were like doing a magic show and Jack were cut in half, they would then write a song metaphorically speaking about how Jack was cut in half. So the first thing that I wanted to comment about this is that this basically confirms a tour. And the other being that it sounds like these songs are going to be super theatrical and basically meant for the stage. Now, another answer that goes along with this idea was when they were asked if any of the Broadway songs that they've been working on have influenced this album, to which they responded, yes, very much so. So with this response, it just makes me believe that this album is going to be just super theatrical and performance-based. Now, a little bit more information about the songwriting was revealed when asked if any of the songs from previous albums helped influence this one. And this question was specifically asked because this does seem to be a theme, that one song from the previous album would help to inspire the next one. And the response to this was that yes, 3 O'Clock Things from OKO does help to inspire this album. So with this answer and a few other times hinted in this Q&A, it sounds like this album is going to be very introspective and deal with deeper narratives. All right, so this next question really intrigued me because it deals with something we've been talking about for the past few videos. And the question basically was, when did you decide that you were writing this new era? And the answer that Jack gave was right around the time they were in Oklahoma City on tour. So I did a little digging on their socials back to when they were in Oklahoma City and found a TikTok around that time. And this was that video.
And then I have to figure it out. Imagine it going to
Yeah, I know.
Oh my
Isn't that
God.
insane?
That is so Amazing. That's like the best choir thing I've ever done. By far.
And like I mentioned before in that last video, which you can check out right here, it sounds like it perfectly describes what we got in that first album teaser on November 12th. So of course, we're just gonna have to wait and see, but I'm willing to bet that song that we got in the teaser might be that opener. And the next question that I wanted to talk about is if there is a trend with the album art. And this is talking about all the album arts that they've had going up into this one. And they responded that we get bigger in each one. So this concept of them being massive definitely sounds like it's going to be a major theme in this album. But the reason why I wanted to bring this question up is to further the conversation about what the possible title of the album could be. So going back to that last video that I had, I posed the question, what do you think the title of the album is going to be? And I got a ton of great responses, but this one is the one that I wanted to focus on. 10-meter men just sounds like it would go perfectly with this theme of the album, especially if they're trying to emulate that they're big. Now, also talking about album art, somebody else asked if the official art for this album would include that dark color blue like we saw in I Won't and the DJ is Crying for Help. And they responded, the rest of the album art does deal with that nighttime look, kind of like Starry Night. So I got two very important things from this. One, when they said the rest of the album art, it makes it sound like there's going to be more, meaning that there's probably going to be more singles. And the other important thing that I think seemed really intentional was when they mentioned Starry Night. Because if you look at the album art that we got so far for DJ and I Won't, it does look very painted. Also, the first time that we ever got a mention of TMM, it was in a frame as if it was artwork. So I'm kind of wondering if they're going to be dealing with this theme of artwork going forward with this album. Now, the last question that I wanted to go over today was somebody asked if Adam will be singing on the album. And the reason why I was really hoping that someone would ask this question was in regards to Turning Out Part 3. Because some people speculated that if there would be a Turning Out Part 3, it would possibly include Adam as the lead vocalist. And I know what you're saying, yeah, Adam doesn't really sing, but he has featured on some very minor parts. So we were all kind of curious, you know, if he would be singing, maybe this would hint that they possibly would do a Turning Out Part 3. But they responded that no, Adam would not be singing on this album. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to be getting a Turning Out Part 3. It just means that if we get one on this album, it's not going to be Adam singing it. And that, my friends, is everything that I wanted to highlight from this video. But if you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a thumbs up below and leave a comment letting me know your thoughts. And lastly, if you would like more content just like this leading up to this album release and even past the album release, make sure to subscribe. But thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hey, Mr. Wolf Boy. Profound question from Mr. Wolf Boy.
I'm imagining like Woodstock, someone singing,
Hey, Mr. Wolf. Hey, Mr. Wolf Boy. Bob Dylan shows up and sings that?
yeah, and a girl has like,
Hey, Mr. Wolf Boy. Oh my God. Never seen you dance like that. Wow.